Hello, I'm going to teach you how to make the best popcorn you've probably ever had. And this is inspired by my dad, who I recently sent a package to, made some of this popcorn. He loved it. And so this is kind of a birthday present to him and kind of a present to the whole world, how to make really good popcorn. So start with white popcorn, which I love. It could be the yellow kind too. This happens to be organic, it doesn't have to be. We use a little olive oil, and I'm going to go ahead and start it. Just kind of pour it in the bottom of a saucepan, a 3-quart pan, which is kind of like a soup pan. Turn the flame on high. And we have an extra high flame here, so if you have one of those, go ahead and use it. Otherwise, use your strongest, biggest flame, so you get the oil nice and hot right away. And I like to coat the bottom of the pan. Maybe you could zoom in here, just to show them the bottom of the pan. Coating the bottom of the pan with oil. Not a ton, but enough to get it, to cover all the kernels once you throw the kernels in. So this will be heating for about a minute. You want to get it really hot. We have our little measuring cup. About 2/3 is good. Remember, this is a 3-quart pan. I'm using about 2/3 cups of popcorn, or kernels. It's going to pop up a little over, which I like, because it lets the popcorn breathe at the end. So this is ready to go. We have pink salt, which we're going to put on it later, and a little bit of coconut oil, which makes it delicious. I'm going to open this up and get it ready. So when the oil starts to smoke a little bit, you can see just a little bit of smoke, not a ton. A couple of particles are starting to burn, that's okay. Then we're going to throw the popcorn in. Notice how it covers the bottom of the pan. I'm going to shake it around so all the kernels get nice and oily. Then you put the lid on. And I like to shake it a little extra. And then I let it sit for a second. You can let it sit, or you can keep shaking it. I kind of wait until I start to hear kernels pop, and then I'll start shaking it more. So it's probably about a 3-minute process, 3 or 4-minute process altogether. It's getting really hot. So I'm going to start shaking a little more, just in case maybe some of the kernels on the outside are getting hotter than the ones on the inside. That's why you just kind of keep mixing it around. You don't want it to burn. And it's really important to start shaking once the popping happens, because otherwise the kernels will get stuck underneath the popcorn that's lifting up, and then they'll never get popped. So you need to shake them so that the kernels fall down to the bottom, and so you get as many kernels popping. Okay, so we just got our first pop, so shaking a little bit. I also forgot to say, you want to have a big bowl ready to go. You can just dump it all in the bowl at the end so that it doesn't burn. Okay, now the kernels are starting to look brown and they're popping on their own. I'm going to let it sit and just let it pop for a few seconds. It already smells delicious. All it is olive oil, organic popcorn so far. And we're going to add a little coconut oil later and a little pink salt. So you may see how the popcorn is starting to lift up, filling up the pan. So I'm going to really shake it now, just to keep the kernels on the bottom. It's almost all the way to the lid. You really want to shake it at the end there. And now I just let it pop the rest of the way on its own. I like for it to kind of burst out like this because it lets the popcorn breathe. You're going to lose a couple, that's okay. And then when it stops, right about now, you take it off and you dump it out. Hot. here still. I'm just gonna, not kernels, but pieces of popcorn. So it's pretty clean. I didn't see very many kernels in here. We did a good job. Not a lot of kernels left. You don't have to do this, but I like to kind of wipe out all the little pieces of popcorn that are in there, because we're going to use this to melt the coconut oil. So you take a spoon. If you keep your coconut oil in the refrigerator, a spoon won't work. You're going to have to take a knife and kind of carve pieces out of it. But if it's nice and soft, you can take maybe 2 or 3 tablespoons, depending on how much flavor you want on top. This is optional, but I think it's a key part. So that melts all by itself pretty much right away. And I kind of like turn the pan so it goes to the corner of the pan. I take a little scoop and just kind of drizzle it over the popcorn, like so. Maybe a little bit more. Pink salt is key because it has a better flavor, I think. And supposedly it's good for your heart. The salt that's good for you. Okay, now the stirring part, you're going to have to use your hands. It's okay. Make sure your hand is clean. Unless you have a giant bowl, I'm just trying to keep the popcorn in the bowl. Most of it at least. Try to get the kernels or the popcorn on the bottom to the top and vice versa. And then give it another sprinkle of coconut oil, sorry. Doopy-doo. Have a little left too, so you can, I'd probably put too much in the pan, but there's a little bit left to make it extra flavorful with the coconut oil. Coconut oil is very good for you as well. More pink salt. You can stir it again if you want, or you can just serve it like that. And it's good to go. Enjoy your popcorn.